So there's this person in your life. Could be a friend, a partner, a coworker, a family member. And this person has done something real, something that genuinely hurt you. So you go up to them, chest tight, voice calm, and you say, "Hey, what you did really hurt me." And they look you dead in the eye and they say, "Well, if you hadn't," and suddenly you are on trial. You, the victim. Somehow, some way, in the span of 30 seconds, you went from the person who was wrong to the person who needs to explain themselves. And by the end of the conversation, you are the one apologizing, and they didn't even blink. Now, before we get into this, I need to be honest with y'all. Every single one of us has dodged an apology before. Don't sit there looking holy. You know there was a situation where you were wrong, and you said, "Okay, but to be fair," and just kept moving. But we are not talking about that today. We are talking about the chronic non-apologizer. The person who could reverse a car into your living room, park it on your couch, and then ask why you left the wall there. That person. And what makes them fascinating and dangerous is that this isn't random. There is actual psychology behind why these people are built the way they are. And once you understand it, everything clicks. The first type is the deflector. The deflector has one move, the redirect. You come to them with a complaint, and before the sentence is even finished, they have already launched a counterstrike. "You hurt my feelings when you, oh, so now you want to talk about feelings? Where was this energy when you did that thing 3 months ago? Brother, I came here about today. Why are we in the archives? This is not a courtroom. I am not opposing counsel." And the genius, the evil genius of the deflector is that the redirect is always just believable enough to work. Something that makes you stop and go, "Well, I mean, that's not totally wrong." And the moment you hesitate, they've won. The conversation you needed never happened. The minimizer is somehow worse because they don't even bother fighting you. They just shrink your pain until it disappears. "It was just a joke. You're so sensitive. I didn't even say it like that." You were there. I was there. We both heard what you said. There's actually a name for this. It's called gaslighting, and it works because after hearing it enough times, you genuinely start to question your own perception. Maybe you are too sensitive. Maybe you are the problem. And while you're in there doubting yourself, they have walked away completely clean. Now this one right here. I'm sorry you feel that way. I need everyone to understand that this sentence is not an apology. I need that engraved in stone. This sentence is a weapon dressed in apology clothing. A real apology has 3 things: acknowledgement of what you did, ownership of it, and genuine effort not to repeat it. "I'm sorry you feel that way" contains none of those things. It is literally just commenting on your emotions like a bystander. Like they pulled up to the scene of an accident they caused and said, "Wow, that looks rough." And the black belt version is, "I'm sorry if I hurt you. If, my brother, the hurt already happened." Put the IF away. The victim flipper is the final boss. This person doesn't deflect, doesn't minimize, doesn't fake apologize. They cry. You come in calm, prepared, even rehearsed. And then somewhere in the middle of your very reasonable complaint, their voice cracks, their eyes water. And before you know what has happened, the entire energy of the room has shifted. Now you feel like the monster. And 10 minutes later, you are rubbing their back going, No, it's okay. I know you didn't mean it." You came in needing comfort and left providing it. There is a clinical term for this. It's called DARVO. Deny, attack, reverse, victim, and offender. It describes exactly this, where the person who caused harm repositions themselves as the one being harmed. It hijacks your empathy. Your compassion becomes the weapon used against you. So why are these people like this? On the surface, it looks like arrogance. But more often than not, what is actually underneath is fear. Psychologists call it ego threat. For people with fragile self-esteem, an accusation doesn't just feel like feedback. It feels like an attack on their entire identity. To admit I did something wrong means to them I am wrong. And that distinction between making a mistake and being a mistake is one they cannot process. So the defense system activates: deflect, minimize, reframe, flip. And here's the wild part. Most of them genuinely believe themselves. They are not sitting somewhere laughing at you. They have actually convinced themselves that they are the reasonable one. That's not evil. That's a person who never developed the psychological safety to sit with being wrong. A lot of it comes from childhood. Environments where mistakes were punished instead of corrected. Where being wrong meant losing love. So they learned early that admitting fault is dangerous. That programming doesn't disappear in adulthood. It just gets more sophisticated. So what do you actually do? First, stop trying to win the argument. You are not going to logic your way to an apology from someone whose brain is treating accountability like a physical threat. Second, name the pattern without attacking. Not you, never apologize. More like I notice when I bring something up, we end up somewhere else. Can we stay on this one thing? Third, Decide what you actually need. Because sometimes, even if you got the apology, it still wouldn't give you what you're really looking for, which is to feel seen. And if that person cannot give you that, you have to decide what the relationship is actually costing you. Back to that person. The one who crashed your car and somehow made it your fault. The deflection, the minimizing, the fake sorry, the tears, none of it is random. It's a system, built over years, designed to protect something fragile underneath all that confidence. Understanding why someone is the way they are does not obligate you to absorb the damage, but it does mean you can stop taking it personally. Stop replaying the conversation trying to figure out what you should have said differently. Nothing. You could have said nothing differently. Some people would rather burn the whole room down than say 2 words. I'm sorry.